Great, we're live. So it's National Pathology Week. Happy National Pathology Week. This is part of a special outreach project. So pathologists are doctors and scientists who study disease. They help diagnose and therefore suggest the best treatments. So about 70% of diagnosis is made by pathologists. So they help us all, and obviously we all know at the moment just how much disease is affecting our lives. So science is needed. Come on, science. So this is I've been creating some special resources, and we're thinking about how. Thank you, Royal College of Pathologists, for this project. And we've been thinking about how amazing our body is, and also what can go wrong with it, which is obviously when we're unwell. And that's the area that pathologists are in, so they can help you get better. So we brought along the heart as a lovely subject to celebrate for National Pathology Week. And I've created two exciting resources. So myself, Dr. Lizzie Burns, I'm originally a scientist and I work actually as an artist and a science communicator. So I combine the two, and I've created a sort of life-size drawing of the heart, showing the structure from the outside and the inside. And you'll find all of these sheets on the Health of Healthcare Art Activities, which is on the Royal College of Pathologists website, and you can just download and print any of these. So this is life size, and the idea is that you can colour it in and cut it out. It's a good bit of cutting out skills, and you can actually then put them together, and you'll see the outside and the inside. So you can do a little hinge. So I've just done it with sellotape. How you can look inside the heart. So, and I've also done some writing as well, so that you can learn as to what can go wrong with it. So about hole in the heart or about heart disease. So it's a lovely thing to colour in, and learning about the structure and the function too. It's a beautiful piece of engineering. So blood from your body is pumped through your heart, and it's deoxygenated, lacking oxygen. So it's going to be pushed up to the lungs, and from the lungs, you would release carbon dioxide and pick up more oxygen. And then it comes into the other chamber of the heart, where it's pumped again, an extra push to be able to send this lovely oxygenated blood around the body. And you do actually get a bit of a colour change, not as dramatic as blue and red, but blood, when it's exposed to the air carrying oxygen, is more of an orangey red colour. When it loses it, it's more of a sort of purpley colour. And it's a little bit thicker, this area of the heart, because it needs to work hard to then pump it through your body. So that's one thing to do. We're not going to colour in now, but have a go at doing that. And you can think about how this is a life size of your heart as well. So I hope that's going to be a really nice resource. So the second thing is a drawing to be used to fold and create your own little beating heart. So there's a sheet which you hopefully have printed out. If you haven't printed out, don't worry, you can go and look afterwards, as I mentioned, on the Health of Healthcare Art Activities, and you'll find the Origami beating heart sheet. So this is about how your body is made of cells. It's the building block of our bodies. And these little tiny cells are responsible for you. One extraordinary thing. And the heart will be folded up. I'll show you a heart that I've made earlier, Billy Peter style. Here's a heart that I've coloured in already. So I recommend colouring in. If you haven't already, don't worry, you can always colour it in afterwards as well. So you'll find on one side are normal cells. So I've drawn them based on looking down microscope pictures. So seeing your body at this enlarged scale, and you'll see it's made of cells. So these very long cells, they're quite big for cells, and they have these round, what's called nuclei, which is where your DNA is found, the instructions to make you. So you might want to colour those in different colours. So that's healthy side. The other side, I just wanted to show you some of the changes. So this is with disease, things that can go wrong, and this is the area that pathologists are interested in as to what can go wrong. Hello, Juliet, again. Thank you for joining us. So at the top, an area to do with how the heart can be damaged with heart disease, with a heart attack, cells dying, and maybe some red blood cells. Middle area, it's a rare autoimmune disease, so the cells are being attacked by white blood cells, and the very bottom, strange shaped cells, actually rather beautiful in their own way. It's a rare genetic disorder where they're not the correct direction, and of course that's going to affect the heart. So these are the ways that the heart can be affected, but we can also fold it so it will beat. So I'm going to show you how to fold, and if you haven't had a chance to print out the sheet, I can still explain how to do it, because you can actually make a little strip and fold it into beating heart with any piece of paper. But you might enjoy doing a bit of colouring in. We've also got videos of me asking questions to a cardiologist, a pathologist, and so you can find out more while colouring in. So if you grab your sheet, I will show you how to fold. Here goes. So you've got your sheet, and we're going to use this strip. Oh, it's a bit speckled, the light. Hope that's okay. So we're going to use this strip. If you haven't got this printed out, what you're looking for is a strip that's roughly this dimension, which is 3 by 1. So in this case, the paper's 21 centimetres wide. So this strip is around 7 centimetres. So you don't even need scissors to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, pull it back, and line it up with that little line that I've made that you can see. That's it. And if you give a good strong fold, that means that you'll be able to tear it off as well. There we go. So hopefully you've done that. And then if you open it up, and you can give a little tiny nick there and pull off that strip. Now you see you're left with some information about it, and this will actually fold up to make a sort of a life-size heart. You don't need that much. This is all designed by an origamist, David Petty, and he discovered this. So there's a little diagram as well, so you might find that useful, and you might keep that maybe. So we need to make sure we've got it the right way up. So if you have it so it's a V shape, so the V is kind of that way up rather than other way. So I'm going to turn it round, and we're going to simply fold it in half. We're going to fold it in half, as such. There we go. Now, I recommend that you do on a solid surface, it's easier. That's it. So I'm then going to open it up, and you can always send comments if you need me to explain anything more, do say. So I'm going to take this bottom edge, and I'm going to fold it up to the middle line. Piece of engineering. It will start already to be looking a little bit like a heart, but we're not quite there yet. I'm going to put it down on the surface just so I can see what I'm doing. So it was down there, and I took this edge and I folded it to the middle. It's all about accuracy, and this is good for your science side, and this is also being creative at the same time. So again, this side we're going to bring up to the middle. And tune it in India. What an amazing thing. I don't even know what time it is in India at the moment. So it should look like that. It's beginning to look sort of heart-like, but not quite. So hopefully you've got that. I'm going to turn it round to the back now, which looks quite plain. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this side and we're going to fold it to the middle. And this area is going to swivel round without folding. You'll have to see. It's a little bit hard to explain. So this edge to here, and that's all I'm doing. I'm not folding any other area. And by moving it around, can you see it's brought this forward? So it was back there, took this edge to the middle. There we go. And I kept this nice and smooth, so I haven't added any extra folds. That's it. And again, the same thing on the other side. This edge, and we're going to bring it here. There we go. Lovely. So at the moment, it looks a little bit pixelated. It looks a bit sharp. So we want to make it look more like a heart. Obviously, this is more of a cartoon heart than how it really looks. This top point, if you just bend that back like so. There we go. And the sides. Hopefully this is also relaxing. I think in these times we need to look after ourselves. Do exercise, keep yourself fit. Even I think that's also good for anxiety. I've gone off and had a run this morning, and this is now good for relaxation. So we're going to turn it into, at the moment it's kind of a heart, but it doesn't move. So we've got to do something which will help make it move. So this side here, I'm going to fold to the middle. So I'm going to take the side and fold it to the middle. And I think origami is a very calming activity. It's engineering. It's about forces, and that's relevant within it. Is science. And it's a beautiful piece of engineering, your heart to the side, and again bringing it to the middle. So earlier today we had schools joining in as well. It's been fantastic to see some pictures from classes have been using them. Teachers have been using these folds, and apparently it's brought calm, and it's been a nice thing to focus on during this time. So I hope that's worked through the tips there. And then if you think, I always like to think of a present, open a present. And we're going to bring this middle down, and we're going to roll in the sides. And that's because, can you see I'm rolling in the sides? You have to play with it a little bit at the same time. See if more interesting into a camera. The side there I'm playing with, and I'm going to get it to a point. It's definitely easier if it's facing you, I would suggest. And you do have to be a little bit patient with yourself. You're sort of changing the whole direction of the paper here. And you're learning by doing this yourself. I wonder if the Royal College of Pathologists, whether you're making your hearts as well. You'll be experts by the end of the day. So you've made a little handle, and that should be enough to be able to make your heart beat. So it's a little handle, and if you put your fingers holding that, you see my thumb and fingers, you should be able to squeeze like that, and as you squeeze, it beats. You hear it. It's a good sound, isn't it? It really is like a heart. It's almost like you can see little chambers in there. So I hope that's worked for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. Also, as well, if you look on the YouTube channel for the Royal College of Pathologists, then you'll also see that they've added a playlist for these, some time lapse to explain about how the blood flows through the heart, and there's also quite a fun extension activity. So if you're feeling inspired by the origami, which I thoroughly recommend, you can have a go at making your own virus-like structure. So viruses have a piece of DNA or something very similar, RNA, and it encodes proteins. So proteins are little flat things which fold up, and it's the way that they fold up that gives it the function and so what it does. So viruses have a very small amount of DNA because they're very small things, and so the way that they're covered up is like a little shell of proteins. And it's often the same protein repeated over and over again. So they tend to be lovely patterns. So this obviously is not a virus, but you'll see I've done a drawing of hepatitis B as to how similar it is. And it's because it's all little proteins and how they're folded up. So they can be surprisingly beautiful. How weird that something like a virus, which we're all being affected by at the moment, is actually surprisingly beautiful. And it's that sort of fascination which gives us hope as well. This is a larger one. This is 90 pieces, so it's effectively like a football, and I'll explain how you could fold your own. This is a bigger project, but it's nice to have ambitions, isn't it? So I hope you found that interesting, and Happy National Pathology Week. There'll be plenty more events as well, so keep an eye out with the Royal College of Pathologists, and I hope this has inspired you for relaxation as well. Also, I'm doing a weekly fold, so you can keep an eye on my channel. Each week I add something new, and I do a live fold on Wednesdays at 2, so that's for your well-being as well. So I hope you found it useful. Thank you.